To call to order the Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, at 7 p.m. The only agenda item tonight is a public hearing with Westview LLC, case number 2026-03, 30 Southwest Main Street, for a comprehensive permit. The date of the application is March 2nd. The decision date for a comprehensive permit is 40 days after closing of the public hearing. Hearing tonight's case and voting on tonight's case will be Mr. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Forget, and Ms. Bacon, and we have two alternates here tonight. It'll be Sean Holland and Les Stevens. So, following was posted in the town hall and also advertised in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, and it reads as follows. The Town of Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing beginning at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, in the Douglas Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., to hear the following applications. 7 p.m. Westview LLC is requesting a comprehensive permit pursuant to MGL Chapter 40B, Section 20-23, and the Town of Douglas Comprehensive Permit Rules for the proposed residential development with approximately 28.28 acres, 521 feet of road frontage, located at 30 Southwest Main Street, Assessors Map 212, Parcel 1, in an RA Rural Agricultural Zone District. The proposed project will consist of 30 duplexes, 8 of which will be designated as affordable as defined by MGL Chapter 40, Section 20. A copy of the application may be viewed in the Community Development Department during regular business hours. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed application should appear at the time and place designated. Okay, public hearing is now open. The applicant or your representative here? Would you like to join us?
Yes, please.
If you could just give us your name and
Yes.
the forth for the minute taker.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Dean Harrison. I'm the consultant for the applicant, Westview LLC. Mr. Bedosian is a partner in the LLC. With us tonight, we also have Mark Gates from Land Planning, who is the engineer for the development. What we'd like to present tonight, we'll give a brief introduction, and then I'll have our engineer go through the site plans if the board would like. We're here tonight just to stop this process. This process, we know, takes some time. I've been doing this for over 35 years now. I actually did work here in Douglas, I hate to say probably over 20 years ago, on another 40B, but I represented the town at that point. So we're going way back. So anyways, under the comprehensive permit, just give a little background. This is a process that is allowed under state regulations for any community that's below 10% of their housing stock is considered affordable. To be considered affordable, it has to have a long-term deed restriction on the property. Doesn't necessarily mean the value of the house is low or the land is low, but the house itself has to be restricted to a certain income for a period of time. Here we're proposing, as you mentioned earlier, a total of 30 units, of which 8 will be deed restricted and in perpetuity for the residents of Douglas. They're all 3-bedroom units. I won't get into more details, but we do have, obviously, we presented both engineering plans. I think you also got copies of the architectural plans.
Right.
Any additional information you need, just let me know. As you also know under 40B, as you did here tonight, you opened the hearing within 30 days of our submission. As part of our submission, we had to get a site approval letter from Mass Housing, which we did get, and that gives you the golden ticket to get in front of the ZBA. So we did that part, and we're here today. The board has up to 180 days to have the public hearing. That's only contingent if there's new material being presented to the board during that time. After that, if it does take 140 days, as you mentioned earlier in your presentation or your opening statement, you close the public hearing, and then the town has 40 days to render a decision to the state. So I won't get into anything more on 40B unless somebody has a question.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay, good.
We're all set at the moment.
All right, good. At this point, I'd just like to introduce once again Mark Gates from Land Planning, and I'd like him to give the board a presentation of the site and what we're planning to do on the site.
Okay. Hello.
Do you have plans available for the screen, or you have a board?
I have a board.
Yeah, we got a board. Colors make a little sense when we go to that. Basically, everything you see in color is the look of work for the site. The property line is on the other one here. As I stated, it was 28 acres, a little over 28 acres. The proposal is for 15 duplex buildings, for a total of 30 units. They clustered mostly up into the high point of the property. We have a road length is the driveway length is about 1,500 feet from the end. We're collecting all the storm water and discharging it two infiltration basins. The basis of here. A little bit goes up that way.
Excuse me, Dan? He's not speaking loud enough for the whole line here.
Okay.
Speak up.
Yeah, if you would.
Sure.
Actually, if you want the mics. Yes. No. Do that.
Go on the other side, sir. Let me help. Go on the other side. This one. We're checking it out. If you don't mind.
Welcome to come a little closer to the microphone so people can hear us.
So would that be Douglas Camp meeting on the north?
Yeah, Douglas Camp meetings up here. The Sudden.
You know, we're not going to have any questions at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to let him make his presentation, and we'll open it up for questions. Thank you.
It's a good place to start with you, Bud. As you saw, the trunk line trail is over here, and there's several residential properties here, and across the street, it's kind of open over here. The site has some remains of foundations on there. I don't know what was actually there, but residential-sized foundations in here. There's an old outhouse in here, but everything's been raised. So again, we were collecting the stormwater, discharging, treating it through the two infiltration bases, discharging it. Collecting everybody's going to have their own individual septic tank. It's going to run into a gravity sewer system, which drains into a pump chamber system. And that's going to get pumped up into two infiltration fields up in the center of the cul-de-sac.
Where is that access road in relationship to the existing entrance to that property?
The pond is right there,
Yeah.
and there's a little bit of a driveway that's cut in, and then
Yeah.
this steep hill, this is right on top of it.
About how far away is it?
We're occupying it.
You're occupying the
Pretty much like-
existing driveway?
Yeah, but it goes to that gate there, yeah.
Okay.
It might be a couple feet down from that, but
Down towards the
down
east?
towards the pond.
Okay,
But it's, the existing hydrant is right there.
correct.
And a phone
Yeah, there's a
pole.
hydrant there, but
Yeah.
that's a little distance away from the
Yeah.
existing
So
driveway.
we pushed down just enough to get the rounding in for the driveway.
So you moved up closer to the hydrant?
We pushed the driveway down a little bit to get the rounding for the driveway prior to interfering with the phone pole.
Okay, so you have the hydrant, and, right?
Yeah.
The existing access to that is east of that hydrant now. Where the gate is?
Yeah, it's right
So
here.
you want to have, where the gate is, you want to have to push away from the hydrant. The hydrant's a little distance away. So you must be moving up the hill a little bit?
Well, as I said, we had to put a 25-foot rounding in to get into the driveway. That pushes the main line of the driveway a little bit further down, but it's essentially it's the same area. So overall, the impervious coverage ends up being 11% of the property. 90 About 90% open space here.
Does that include the roof?
Includes the roofs and the pavement
Oh, okay.
and the driveways.
The contractor has, the owner, who also has a construction business, has built these units previously. So I'm very familiar with the construction. He's done them both in Mendon, in Sterling. We can give you the addresses if you'd like to see a style of those buildings. We can bring in pictures if you like. We do have, architectural drawings that we'll share later. We'll make sure next time.
We have those.
Okay. Next time we can make sure that in case you want to put it on the video for the abutters.
How does that lower basin affect that existing pond that's by the street?
It's well above. It will be, everything up to through the 100-year storm is contained within the basin. There should be no discharge. If for some reason something beyond that happens, it will spill out towards this
So that other wetland.
This wetland here. This basin looks to me as though we looked for a pipe over here to see if there was any interconnection across the street.
No, that's a individual basin. It doesn't drain out.
Yeah.
It may drop down during the summer months a little bit, but it doesn't drain out anywhere.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of heads off to the Dudley Brook up that way, while everything else in here is kind of heading out towards Centerville Brook. So it looks to me like this thing, when it overflows, comes back through this way, and there's a bit of a seasonal brook between the camp meeting property.
Because that particular little pond is full of turtles and frogs.
Yep.
Like full of them. It's almost deafening riding by there in the evening in the spring, in the summertime. So there'll be zero impact on that? This is a conservation issue, but I'm just curious.
Well, there's no intended impact there. All the stormwater's runoff is controlled at or below existing levels. That's why we chose to use infiltration as the primary means of disposing of water, so we don't have anything flowing over land towards the wetlands.
Well, when you go to the site, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
No, go ahead.
When you go to the site and you look at the pond where your proposed basin is, it's probably elevated 3 or 4 feet.
The basin is elevated above the pond.
The existing grade now is elevated,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it
So
comes
if it
up a little bit.
overflows, the water travels downhill, right?
Right.
If it overflows, it's going to go to that pond.
Right. Our spillway is directed towards this. It's the high point between these, separating the two. The pond from the BBW over here.
It's pretty flat, and so to the south of that pond, it's pretty flat in that area?
Yeah.
Right straight across?
Yeah.
You're going to alter that land in order to direct the water towards that wetland?
There's no alteration of wetlands whatsoever.
Okay, I'm just asking a question so you understand. I understand, I know that particular piece of property, so that's why I'm asking.
It's unfortunate we would have to put a basement in here, but the road's low. We need to drain to the low point, and we only have this little bit of area to work between the two. So.
You're going to be putting a lot of fill behind those upper houses, all the houses on the east side of the road? That's all fill?
Yeah. Right now, it shows a bit of a net cut of about 1,000 yards, but then it'll probably get lost in the compaction.
Because that drops off pretty good then?
Yeah. So I think the cuts and fills are fairly well balanced right now.
What about the pitch of the road coming up?
4% off the road. We're going to stretch to 7% here. And we really taper it off to the crest, and it's just up and down, very shallow slopes.
I know this is the first, once again, Dean Harrison. This is our first public hearing. Not sure of the process here in Douglas, but when we do this with other communities, we assume a peer reviewer will be assigned, and we always have, if the board is okay, we always have our engineer work with the peer review to address any questions like this and get further details on, drainage calcs and all that.
Initial concerns, I don't like to be spoon-fed. I like to understand it myself. So
Yeah, understood.
I'm going to ask some basic questions throughout the whole process.
Yeah, but we could, what I'm trying to get at, we'll give you more detail if you request it, obviously, and whatever information. Okay.
We haven't assigned anybody yet to do the peer review, so.
Okay.
Like I just said at the initial meeting, but as he's describing it, he's sitting there, might as well get some pretty basic, obvious questions out of the way. Some of it's for my benefit, some of it's for the rest of the people that are in the room.
Have anything else?
I guess I've been waiting for more questions at this point.
Okay. Is there any board members?
A procedural question. Now,
Yeah.
were we introduced to this project last year? We met on site.
Oh, yes, we met, okay. Yes, that, I was going to say, wow, that's a long time ago already. As part of the process to get the site eligibility from the state agency, once we submit an application to Mass Housing reaches out to the community to invite them to the site visit. There might have been some confusion because the day we had the site visit with Mass Housing, no one showed up from the town, so we did another site visit, and then, there was a few of us at that, and we walked it and went up to the back area.
And if I remember correctly, through the chair, there was a pause with Mass Housing. I thought, was this withdrawn at that time?
No?
No,
it was.
a big...
No,
Okay.
we waited. What happens after the site visit, usually the community has like 30 days to respond in writing to Mass Housing with any comments, concerns, or questions,
I believe we did.
which I believe you did also. And then it takes them some time to issue the letter. We did submit the letter to the town, so you should have it in your package.
What was that date?
Oh,
It took that long from...
yeah, it takes anywhere from 90, basically it could be up to 90 days or longer. You might have it, I don't have the letter in front of me, but you should have a copy of the Mass Housing approval letter.
If I may, that was dated July 1st, according to the information in the packet.
Yep.
Okay, because I was under the impression that it for some reason, wasn't going through with Mass Housing.
No, not at all. They issued the letter. It took us some time to get our application together. Mark obviously had to do more engineering because the material we submit to Mass Housing is preliminary site information.
Yeah.
So that's why there was a delay until us getting to in front of you all tonight.
Yeah, we have it here.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Sean?
I apologize for being pedantic.
No.
On the July 1st letter, it says that that there weren't any comments made, and yet I think there was a suggestion that there have been people who made comments on the board. You wouldn't have any idea if there was additional letters by any chance?
I do not know if an additional letter was submitted. Usually they will highlight in the back if there was any comments per the community. Like I said, the day that we had the official site meeting with Mass Housing, there was no one there from the town. And then we were requested to have another meeting, not with Mass Housing. It was requested to me to come and meet with people of the community and walk the site, which I did. I don't know if that's referenced in there, the date we did it.
I don't believe it is in the
No.
July 1st letter. I don't believe
Yeah,
so.
they don't attach the comments. I could ask, see if the Mass Housing received any.
I think this is, and you tell me, sir, if I'm wrong, that there's an attachment one with some comments about issues that it looks like Mass Housing saw, but it doesn't look as if anything that was raised by the town was in there.
No.
And again, I'm just paperwork. I know I'm not trying to be
No, I
too
mean,
difficult.
like I said, it's an offer to the town to attend. It's not required the town to attend. It's not a public hearing. It's not notified the abutters. It's a courtesy to let the town know when Mass Housing is going to be there to do their site visit. So some communities write novels, other communities don't. So as long as, this might be some of their comments as they addressed it, as part of the requirements, what they have to put together into the site approval letter. So that seems what you've given me, but I don't see any specific comments from the town.
Anybody else have any questions from the board?
I've got questions. I don't know.
No, go ahead.
How much detail we want to get into this.
Well, it's just the first night, so maybe,
Well, obviously, you must have the stormwater already done in order for you to decide that.
Yeah, we do have a preliminary analysis. It's not much different than the final one will be, but that will be further developed if any adjustments are made as part of this process. But for now, we're pretty well satisfied. It's a difficult soil to work in because it's such permeable soil. It looks like nothing runs off the site from day one. As soon as you disturb do any kind of disturbance, it looks like it's running off. So basically, we have to store everything on site.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up with such an extreme infiltration basin volume, considering less than 3 acres of paved impervious area.
I just add to your question, one of the reasons we don't come in and have like drainage calculations and all the stormwater reports in final form, because we're showing you the site view, the site plan for the first time. And we want to get comments, and, if you're happy with the layout, and if the layout doesn't change, then we can progress and go to that next step. So it's not like we don't want to come in totally prepared, but it makes no sense to come in totally prepared, and you say, well, I want to move this building this way and that building that way, and then
Yeah, I get it.
we'll be doing it.
Just another question, if I may.
yeah, go ahead.
To the leach fields, community leach field.
It's a common condominium system. The reason we have two fields is because it's 30 units with 3 bedrooms, 90 bedrooms. It's 9,900 gallons per day. Title V only allows 5,000 gallons per day per leach field. So we split this into 15 units around one pump, 15 units on a different pump, and each go independently to the 2 leaching fields. So it meets all the loading requirements. The other advantage to that is if anything needs to be shut down for maintenance, you can swap the flow to the other system. You run the pumps in the other chamber, brush out the pressure pipes in here.
Yeah, my only concern with these common leach fields is sometimes you have control over what everybody's dumping into there.
Well, that's why we put a individual 2-chamber septic tank with a filter in each unit, because exactly, you don't know who's you might have one bad actor in there.
It takes us 1 gallon of paint, and that's the end of that.
But we will have an operation and maintenance manual, and we'll have an annual pumping schedule. I can't imagine they're going to go through on a single pass and do these, but I can imagine, 5 units this year, 5 units the next year, and just start rotating them and keep on top of it. I think it'll be well worth it.
I do want to make it clear that this will be a homeowners association or condominium association. The road is a private road. We're not asking the town to take any ownership in the roadway. It will be, we will have a management company on site to help with the common areas and all that. So as part of that, as Mark was saying, that's why we have the O&M we provide to the town as part of the, if we get that far, we provide it as part of the thing, part of our final review, and you have it on record, and it basically goes into the association. They're responsible once the last unit is sold, and so that is a living document that is required and will be maintained. So that, as you said, you're concerned about the septic, who's keeping it up, same with the drainage. So I just want to make sure the board knows we're not asking this to be a public road or, it's a private subdivision, not subdivision, but it's private property.
Not to get too far into the weeds, but you just want to check. Now, you have to meet the Douglas bylaws when it comes to these septics, or you just have to go by Title V?
It's Title V.
You don't have to meet?
No.
Okay. And then just another question.
No, go right ahead.
Is okay?
You're on a roll. Keep going, Mark.
Site distance analysis, is that something that's going to be performed at the entrance?
That was that?
We submitted. I thought we submitted that. If not, we'll get it to you tomorrow. We had
Final letter came out Monday, or was it last Friday?
Yeah.
But basically, the traffic engineer did make one suggestion, again, at that phone pole. I think there's a little bit of a bump out in the slope there. So he suggested that we cut that back. Your plans don't reflect that. This plan here does reflect that. And they gave me the sight line needed to achieve 500 feet from intersection sight distance going up the hill. So with this little bit of grading here, we do make the stop and sight distance in
Okay,
intersections.
so you have a letter that
Yeah.
documents that, okay, I don't.
I'm sorry, I thought you had that already.
No, I don't see it in our pack.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't see it.
we'll provide it tomorrow.
So I noticed that you did your traffic study probably the first or second week of March. Why not during the season? You're familiar with the area? Because we have a racetrack down in Thompson, which has a tremendous amount of traffic. We have the state park that has a tremendous amount of traffic. This is probably the ideal time of year to try to do a traffic study. It's not a true reflection of what that street actually has.
I understand they do some analysis, looking in build, no build.
When we did the sidewalk, I was there.
Yeah.
And I asked you that question about the traffic study.
Yeah.
Where would it be done? And you said, well, it's got to be reasonable. It's got to be near the fire. I said, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So they,
Everybody already knows they hit the brakes real quick because we have some friendly guys that sit down the bottom of the hill waiting for you to come zipping over the top, right? But that particular road, one of my neighbors, I was talking to him on the phone as he's coming down, and somebody going westbound come around the corner and passed him on that straightaway. Right? He was doing 40, which is the 30-mile-an-hour zone.
Right.
So this is what the concern is.
Understood.
There's a huge traffic problem for that street, and that's why I asked you those questions back at that.
yeah, I mean, once you get the report, let us know if you want some further clarification. We can do that. I'll ask about, seasonal adjustments. I know they take some of that data into account, but I don't know if this...
I don't want an AI or a generalization of traffic. I
No.
would like an actual traffic study during peak season,
Yeah.
because you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
I mean, I hope maybe peak season is soon, but, if it's in the middle of summer, we can't promise.
It's after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
That's when the beach opens. That's when the racetrack opens.
Understood.
I don't think that's unreasonable to ask to have it when you actually have traffic. Now, I know that because I've asked this question from December 23 to January of 25, there was 200 citations issued on that street. That doesn't take into account any written warnings or any verbal warnings, right? So
That sounds
trying
like
to give you
yeah.
the information that you need.
Yeah.
And this is what's driving my concern.
Yeah, no, it sounds like there's an existing condition where people speed. I mean, we
Right.
did, I haven't seen the report in the sense, I'm not the engineer, so we.
If you're traveling westbound, there's plenty of sight distance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that at all.
Yeah.
But if you're traveling eastbound and you come over the top of that hill, and that's why I was asking him where he was moving to. So
Yeah.
it is a distance from that gate to that hydrant.
Well, we were told there was no sight distance issues right now.
Yeah.
So let us provide it, and you
Yeah.
have further questions, we'll
Yeah.
have them, and as part of the peer review, same thing. That's when these
Yeah.
comes out in more detail.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean, everywhere you go, you see
Yeah.
no one pays attention to the speed limit, and no one pays attention to the double yellow line.
Yeah.
But it is an existing condition. We could do some signage in the area to notify people, I mean,
Okay.
I get them.
I'm not even going to comment on that. In the future, at some point during this process, I would like that entrance staked off so I know exactly where it is.
Yes.
Because I think there's a discrepancy of my understanding to what he's explaining. Thank you.
You want the stake of the pavement, or do you want what do you want staked out?
Where the entrance is, whatever you're putting in.
The center line of the entrance.
Yeah, I mean, we can work on that. I just want to make sure we do.
Not at the end of the 25-foot radius, I guess.
No, you want to see where the pavement works.
Where it makes common sense, where the vehicle's going to come out, where your pavement is, how wide it, and where it is, right? So then we understand. And anybody else that wants to view it
Not a problem.
that's concerned about it.
Are these homes planned to have town water?
Yes, we have. We've done some initial analysis of the current water situation out there. When we met with the technical review committee, obviously that was one of the main questions. And they informed us of some concerns that obviously is current in the area, some low pressure and so forth. We did do the water test on a flow test.
Yeah, we did a flow test on the hydrant. Flowed this one, measured this one. Not the ideal situation. We would have liked to have flowed this one, well, measuring this one, to take it off where the supply is coming from. The hydrant was out of water. So,
It's still out of service. Actually, ideally, if you're going to do the flow test on the one next to your entranceway, you probably should go west at the end of the line to see what you're dropping the pressure to.
well, we went up to the top of the hill here.
No, the line goes further down the road, right? Not that much further, but it's a dead-end line.
Yeah.
So,
It looked like the high point was up around this next intersection up here.
okay, but anyways, what did you draw the pressure down to?
The pressure went stabilized up here down to 24 pounds. An initial of 52, initial of 35. Settled back to 24 while it's being flowed. And that gives us, it's over 1,000 gallons a minute up at the elevation of our hydrant up in here.
We have some further ideas, obviously we knew this was going to be a concern. We don't want to build anything that affects other folks, and we don't want to build anything that, we can't sell because they don't have water pressure. So obviously we're aware of it. Our current test says we meet. However, we're going to see if there's a way to look at the system and see if we can get a better reading out of the system and see. We understand that that's been one of the concerns in that area for quite a while. So we'll try to do our best not to make it worse, and hopefully we can do something that might help it a little bit.
Because the numbers that you just stated are substantially different than what the water superintendent has told us what it is. And by regulation, you can't go below 20 PSI, correct?
If you go below 20 PSI, then it has to be half the static, but we measured it at 20.
Okay.
So we ended up, it stabilized at 24, I brought it to 20 to, see where the curve crossed 20 and see what it was.
Because even at where you measured your pressure to, there's an abutting house or in between that hydrant. You probably measured the one that's on that little knoll of grass that's up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the house before that has issue with water pressure on a normal situation.
Well, they're sitting at 34 static up here, so yeah, if you get up on the second floor, that could be a little uncomfortable in a shower.
And adding 30 units to drawing off that line, it's not going to help the situation.
It's not a big draw. It's nothing like a firefall. So, you open that up full throttle, and it was still adequate.
So I'm sure you'll have some discussions with the water superintendent. Okay. And we'll look to him for some guidance on that.
Have you submitted to conservation yet?
No.
No.
Hope we get this process started before we start
I know he's up there.
redeveloping the plans.
Any board members have any other questions or concerns?
What's the distance in between the structures? What's the closest one? I see some of them are closer than others.
We'd be pulling about 25, most of them are more.
Aren't they normally 30-foot minimum?
For,
On this typical construction? The previous one that you worked on 20 years ago, I think that's what it was.
I can't even
30
remember.
feet in between.
yeah, the last one I did was 16 feet.
Yeah.
15 feet.
I don't know, I mean, obviously, I believe some of the board knows.
Yeah.
Oh, just question through the chair. Just on the plan, you're showing a gap in between, up on the top of the ridge, in between the two units?
Right here?
No.
No, this way.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah. Can you just explain that for everybody?
There's a quarter vegetated wetland there.
Okay.
Initially, we were trying to get everything out of the 100-foot buffer zones. This one, there was no way. We redistributed the houses a little bit to get the 25 feet between them and then push this unit into the buffer zone just a bit. So, but that's why we left the gap, just to minimize any kind of grading or impact towards that area. I didn't want any runoff flowing out in that direction.
The board probably knows this, but as part of the 40B, our requirement is to meet all state regulations. We cannot ask for any waivers. We can ask for waivers from local bylaws to help us build this development. However, we can't ask for a blanket waiver. Just as he identified, we're going to have waivers that says basically building, let's say that's building 5 or 10, whatever. We need relief 5 feet into the wetlands buffer zone. And that's a local bylaw. So we will be preparing a set of waivers, but we usually wait towards the end so we understand, no more moving. Once again, the whole idea here is try to keep things from moving so we can complete the process. But we will ask for waivers. We have to ask for waivers to have 15 townhomes on the property. That's pretty common sense. But we do have to, for any sort of other waivers from local bylaws, we'll ask for those too.
What's the turning radius of where that cul-de-sac, with that loop right there?
Centerline
No,
rate,
not there, right where it intersects.
right in here,
Yep.
it's likely 20, 25, I don't
Is
recall.
the ladder truck going to be able to go around that thing?
We would probably end up doing a turning
Analysis.
analysis for that.
Right.
And if it's a little short, we'll certainly widen that out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it might be a little.
I think it's probably
might
going to be a little
tight.
short.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why we love your input. This is exactly like kind of, you know the areas, you know your local bylaws, it helps. And we will work with, obviously any of the town organizations we work with, we'll meet with the fire department and the fire chief to make sure the plans is what he likes to see, where the hydrants are, so forth and so on. So it's just the beginning.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Of question is just staying in my head because of Margaret's comment. Somebody puts a gallon of paint in it and wipes out the leach field. Where do you put the other one in the repair? If is there a reserve?
There was we did 2 reserve systems out here as well.
Yeah, if you notice, it's a drops, a good 10 feet right there. It's not flat.
It's actually an easier place for us to work with gravity, but I didn't want to get that towards that, we've got a 200-foot riverfront zone. I didn't want to push all kinds of construction out towards that way, so it's best just to leave it up here.
Is that the river right there next to that?
The river runs just
down
along
there.
the,
So that's your
trail.
buffer line that's right there,
Yeah.
200 feet?
Yeah.
That's a tributary to the town wells,
Yeah.
Morse Pond and all
Yeah.
the streams in the back.
Yeah, that just connects to Morse Pond, Dudley Pond.
Go ahead, Margaret.
Just another question. What is that slope behind these buildings?
3 to 1.
Is it, okay, because I noticed right behind those buildings it goes.
Yeah.
So obviously, the homeowners association is going to be mowing the grass.
Well, we'll probably have some.
It'd be good for
discussion.
sledding in the winter.
What's that?
It'd be good for sledding in the winter.
We'll probably be having, as we iron this out, we'll probably have more discussions with the owner about, how much, like the leavable yard space and stuff like that. So, but, just to get an initial kind of fill balance and deal with it from there.
Buzz?
Just a question through the chair. You're showing the 2 septic systems proposed right in the center of the cul-de-sac area.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't want to have basically next to that space, right, one septic area as a future and expansion, and then put one actually in your reserved area? So you've got kind of space in both. So if you had to repair one, you'd have the extra footprint up in the cul-de-sac area, and then the other one would already be down there where you would already have the ability to expand it. It would give you, I know it would cause a little construction issues, but it also creates a little flexibility that if someone has to repair or switch out the system, they've got the footprint right next door to it.
It's more for the maintenance than anything else. This is a pressure dose system because of the capacity of the systems. So those things, and then they're going to have cleanouts on either end, and I imagine every year someone's going to be in there brushing the lines clean. They're going to be discharging through 5/30 seconds of an inch orifices and pipe every 5 feet. So you can imagine those need a little bit of a maintenance, and we want both pumps to run identically. We want them to see the same head, the same friction loss, so we want the same length of pipe, so it just makes sense to keep them both together for easier maintenance.
So if they have to build, let's say they have to go into the reserved area and put a system in, what's their access point between the 2 units to get there as well as to service?
Well, we would have to leave one. We got this swale that intercepts the runoff from the development.
Yep.
I've got a maintenance road coming back down here to the basin. If we could get something through here, we could probably just kind of extend maintenance way out there.
I was just thinking structural and everything like that. If your system 1 or system 2 fails, and you're going to put it in the expansion area, you want to be able to get equipment and components and everything else out there to be able to build and maintenance and put it in. So it just, that's all. It just looks at, you almost want like a little easement area that doesn't hurt it, that they can get out there 20 foot or 15
Yeah, we'll
foot
be all
wide.
part of the common area. It would still be accessible, but yeah, we could look at maybe clarifying our maintenance perhaps through the
Okay, yeah, that's all.
access way.
Yeah, just, I think it would help in any future scenarios.
Margaret?
Yeah. Do you have you done any other systems like that elsewhere?
Let's see. I did one that was so expensive it never got built.
Was similar to that?
You
Similar to
designed
that.
it, so you didn't build it.
They didn't build it.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford it. It was a restaurant, and it had a well. They were required to have the pressure dose system. It was ended up with 7 pumps and 6 tanks, and yeah, that was hadn't been done yet. But yes, I've done similar sized systems. Sometimes we'll get into a Presby type system. because you can't pump to a Presby, so sometimes if you're on a hill, those are an advantage. But Title V and both, he and I both prefer the pressure dose system
I think
itself.
you can pump to a tank and then gravity feed the Presby's, correct?
Well, you can pump into a D-box and gravity feed the Presby's, and they wrote out the 2,000 gallon limit for pressurizing it.
Well, I would like to know if you don't have to tell me now, but other examples that you know of. This is,
You know where the hockey rink is in Hopedale, down by the airport?
yeah,
So hockey rinks have a minimum of 3,000 gallons per day flow. So that's a third of the system just for the hockey rink. So I got a system out there. Again, it's 3,000 gallons, so it's probably 2/3 the size of one of these. But haven't had any issues. We have a big settling tank. We got a 2-chamber tank with a filter. We got a pump chamber, and into that, and haven't had any callbacks in 15 years or so. So
and it's probably a little different, a hockey rink compared to 30 units.
I think they're more concerned about the toxins they're going to get, ammonia, potential for ammonia to get into the system.
I just from my experience, I've seen what happens to sometimes these systems that are combined systems, and sometimes they get, they're fine for the first few years, and then they can be a problem later on.
I've had pretty good luck, so.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I got a quick question. Did you have a cistern shown on your plan somewhere?
It
One of
was
these plans?
previously, it's a very early plan, I think. We talked about it.
I thought one of the plans I had seen at some point had a cistern up there.
Fire system. There have been discussion of it.
It has, yeah, we have had some initial discussion, but I don't remember
Yeah, it
seeing it
wasn't-
on the...
yeah, I had seen it on the plan somewhere. I'll have to-
Yeah. We can look and see if it was on a previous one.
You previously said that the static pressure is 35 on the upper street, and I had said that one of the houses there had some issues with water pressure, and you commented that the second floor would struggle. Your plan showed two bathrooms on every floor, so why wouldn't those ones struggle?
They may. We may find that those need to be boosted down here, depending on the height. We're figuring we'll end up with about 38 pounds at the hydrant here. Depends on, the height of those houses, where those fixtures end. If it tests low, we'll probably lose the system within the house.
Any idea what the size of the water main is out on Southwest Main Street?
I believe it's 8.
Yeah.
That was the data that we got when we were there with the water department.
Were they there on the day you tested?
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, if not, I'm going to open it up to anybody in the room. I just want to,
Excuse me, before I just want to explain the one last piece of this whole puzzle. This is just, a comprehensive permit is supposed to be the initial go-ahead to say, yes, we are okay with the concept, we're okay with the design, but you're not done yet. So what we need to do is, after a permit is issued, doesn't mean we're pulling building permits tomorrow, the day after. It means that we still have to go through the process, make sure that we do design it to all the state requirements. There's more engineering that will go in, and then prior to pulling the building permits, we come back normally to the ZBA and say, these were all the conditions you asked for, this is how we've met all those conditions. So it's more for the audience in the sense that it doesn't mean this process could take 6 months. If it doesn't mean next day you're pulling building permits. We still have to provide everything you condition the permit on to you at some point before we can even submit for the building permit. So like these questions, like, the water, we show everybody's okay, comfortable, but your most likely condition would be, come show us that you have the approval from the water commission to to do what you want to do, right? We might not get it now, right? But the idea is, hey, here's a bunch of conditions that you put onto the permit that we need to meet in order to pull the building permit. So a lot of people get the misconception, it's like, you're given the approval to go and get a building permit. No, that's not the case. This is the first step in a long process to get this to a point where you pull the building permits. So, and that goes to, if we have to put water pumps up in the second floor or boosters in these units, we would identify that at the time. It's like, look, we did more engineering, this is what we found out, this is how we're addressing that, so you know at the time of the building permits, like, how we're addressing it. So that's why I kind of just wanted to make sure it was clear.
We're also going to need to establish a 53G account for the peer review for our council. So I guess we can get into that at the next meeting. All right.
I would still like to entertain some of the questions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just so.
Okay, so if anybody would like to be heard, again, it's the first meeting. There'll be multiple meetings, but if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them as best we can at this point.
And in the back, that motion earlier.
Okay. Anybody? Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
The conservation, Brendan Henderson.
No. Can't speak out like that, John.
Okay, we just need you to identify yourself for the minute taker and...
Sure. Sheila Kia, 49 Southwest Main Street. So I live just over the hill from where all of this is. Very, very concerned about the wetlands and all of the environment that's around there, right at that section. And I'm also very concerned about the amount of cars that are going to be involved. The amount of cars for that many units. And traditionally, it's a two-car world for these families, too. We're talking 2 cars for every unit. And if you think about the intersection just before that, where you have Southwest Main Street, Southeast Main Street, Route 16, the sharp corner, you have South Street, you have everything converging here. And now you want to add that many car flow into that, we're going to end up with a problem where all of our worst nightmare is, what if we have to put a traffic light? And what is that going to look like, right? If we had to do that up in that area somewhere, and I'm very concerned that that amount of car flow is going to just cause so much traffic in that area. Thank you.
Okay. They're going to have to meet with Conservation Commission at some point, and that's a public meeting. You're certainly welcome to attend that. And we will be looking for a traffic study probably done at a busier time of year than when they just recently did it.
John, I was trying to get you.
Sir?
John Charbonneau, Community Development Director. To your point, I was a transportation planner for 5 years earlier in my career. This amount of traffic would never meet the warrants to put in a traffic signal, just to let you know, this level of, because I've done it. I've done corridor studies, I've done intersection analysis, I've done turning movement counts. This traffic volume would not meet the warrants for a traffic signal. I just wanted to.
Thank you. That's good to know.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sir?
Jack Keogh, 49 Southwest Main Street, right over that hill. We have had 8 major accidents, including a fatality in our front yard from a kid who lived 4 houses up the street. These were not take out the telephone pole accidents. These were flip over the car accidents. These were already hit a car pulling into 48, it must be 48, the side of the driveway to 50. And a flatbed was making a delivery there, and a car came from the Connecticut side of the, west side of the Southwest Main Street, right underneath us. The kid's lucky he didn't get decapitated. This is going to have a major impact on Southwest Main Street. It's going to totally change the character. It's going to totally change the character of this neighborhood. Your houses are 15 feet apart, 20 feet apart. We have a 2 acre minimum on new construction. What is new construction? I have a question to the board. What is new construction minimum land requirement at this point?
Well, in Douglas, it's in an RA zone, it's 90,000 square feet. But you got to understand that this is a comprehensive permit, and it's allowed by the state to create more affordable homes.
I'm just looking for the information.
Yeah,
appreciate
I understand.
it. And that this is on the first meeting, the get to know everybody meeting and all this stuff. You're already talking about future expansion of this site?
No, that was for the septic system, sir.
For the septic system, no, but to put it in now, okay.
No, that was in the event that the proposed system failed, they need to know where it's going to go, that's all. I misunderstood. Yeah.
I we were talking about expansion of this site, But I'm telling you, it's just 30 units, that close. That's no longer what is from the Common right down to Wallen Lake, all the way down to Thompson. That's the character of Douglas, and you're going to wedge this little cul-de-sac of duplexes in a wetland. Like, I don't even know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it. You're like, I know that area. I've been there 33 years at the top of that hill. I only found out about this meeting because my other neighbor on the other side of Churchill Road is within 600 feet. So he got a notice. And he let me know about it, just casually chatting. I had no idea. I had no idea about this. I don't get the program. I didn't come into the town hall to check a bulletin board. So.
Well, you certainly be able to express your concerns when they meet with Conservation Commission. And the traffic, when we get the study, we'll have to take it from there. And it's not going to go without us considering the concerns and so forth.
There's a woman there.
Ma'am?
Hi. Marcy May LeBlanc. I'm at 42 Southwest Main, so I'm one of those little properties. May I approach and indicate at the map?
Sure.
I have a lot of conservation questions, but I'll take that up with that board. Okay, so...
You're done.
You're down that way.
Right, I know I'm over here.
No, the other way. Yep,
No,
at the top.
she's not up there.
What?
No,
What is happening?
no, you got it.
You're scaring everybody. Come on, man.
We're just here to confuse you, don't worry.
All right, cool. So this vegetated wetland, I was just seeing this little blue blob from back there, so I was like, that's definitely right on the road, but I see now it's your infiltration basin.
Yeah, that's actually, should be a blue blob if I had more time.
Yeah, I've always got I always have a marker in my back pocket. So that was one point. Another question about this area. So you're thinking about cutting up the hill a bit to make that wider for an actual roadway?
This piece here, we're going to take out a little bit by the phone pole.
Okay.
This here, we put a little widening again, so I don't know the plans that you have, but it came up at the tech review meeting that, it'd be a good spot to put a common mailbox and a couple pull-off area for a couple of cars. So we've added that at this point here. So.
Would that cutting into this area require any kind of land, like a retention wall or anything?
Not unless they would like to for a signage or whatever, but I've done it without a retaining wall. It shouldn't be needed.
Well, what about like this property up here?
It's going to have an impact on that. It's fairly flat up here. This road is coming up almost at the same rate that the rest of the hill's going up. There's very little drainage down here.
Right, I'll talk about stormwater runoff at the conservation meeting. Is there a plan for which units will be affordable?
There will be a plan eventually.
Okay.
That is something we'll do later on, but as part of it, we have to do a affirmative fair housing marketing plan along with a lottery plan. It's basically to show the state we're following fair housing laws. And what we can't do, like you need to put the affordable units randomly throughout the property. You can't have them overlook, like if there was a dumpster out there, you can't have them overlook at the dumpster. If there was 3 buildings, say 3 units in a building, you can't put them in the middle unit unless you have all the market units in the middle unit.
Okay.
So, yeah, that will be provided more towards the end of the process.
Sure. So another question, so it was already pointed out that this is all like, I think it's on, it says rural agricultural zone, so you're fully in there. Someone already touched upon like the land minimums, but I thought that in this town you couldn't have duplexes in rural, is that incorrect?
It's part of the comprehensive state permit that they're allowed to propose whatever the state allows.
Well, under the comprehensive permit, it goes by, like, if a town's not at the 10%, the need of housing is considered greater than some of the local bylaws, right? So like having 2-acre zoning, it's really prohibitive to what they do, right? So what they do is they look at, if you're close to 10%, the board has more power to ask for more. When you're lower, it's less.
Okay.
And that's...
Are you going to do any kind of like, I don't know if there's going to be a study about the bugs in this area, because it is out of control. And like, I'm over here, I'm not even near this, and I cannot go outside of my house without dousing myself in DEET. So,
I mean,
is there, like,
it's a
public
market,
health or
no, I mean, it's not
health board?
required under comprehensive permit. It's not required any bylaw that I ever know of to show a mosquito plan. I mean, that is up to the owner. He's selling these units. He's going to make it work to do that. So obviously, he's aware of it. I mean, we live in New England, we all live near water, we live with mosquitoes. It's
Sure.
not ideal. But, I mean, you can't, under 40B, you're also not supposed to ask the developer for items that you don't normally ask in the other process. So if this was a market rate subdivision, you couldn't ask to see a mosquito plan. Or if you did, then I guess you could ask.
And I don't know that.
No, I've never heard of any law or bylaws.
You might want to keep it in mind.
No, understood. It's part of New England development.
Suck. Mosquitoes to suck. Right, the traffic.
Number of times himself on that.
And about the traffic study, because people come up over this hill, like big trucks, flying. And like, I'm afraid to get my mail sometimes. So I would definitely recommend a different location for that traffic study. For water pressure, I'm up here, and we're not talking second floor. I'm saying at the spigot on my house, it's like boiling. So I worry that there's not enough water if there's an emergency over here or over here, and these guys are just kind of doing the thing, you know?
Understood.
Okay, cool. And then you said that the Mass Housing sent out like an invitation for the public?
No.
What
No.
is that?
As part of the Mass Housing Review, they do a site visit,
Okay,
which is a non-official visit,
okay,
not a public hearing.
sure.
They notify the town,
The town, okay.
and the town can come and show up or not. Sometimes the butters come because they hear it through the town, but, I mean, it's basically the same thing. On the site visit we had, there was no abutters.
I mean, we're out in the middle of the woods. like, how are we gonna know? But anyway, I get
We're
your
not
point.
required to inform. That's
Anyway.
not.
Yeah, let's
part
stay
of
to the
process.
questions, because
Sure.
there shouldn't be too much back and forth.
Got it. So it doesn't have to be, it isn't like, when you say community, it's like the town. It's not like the community, the people that live around.
Town government.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before you take another question, so I don't lose it, you made a comment about the access there, that you're going to have the mailbox where?
Right over here.
Okay, so I've already pointed out the concern about being able to see up the road, so now I think, and this would be a question for the town planner, I think their recent changes on their subdivision rules for kiosks is to have 2 or 3 pull-off spots that are lighted. It's a lit area. Is that, can I ask the town planner?
Sure.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds correct. I don't know the exact verbiage off the top of my head, but the planning board just had a public hearing last month.
Yep.
And made some changes to their subdivision rules and regs, including CMUs, the mail units. So you're right. So you might want to check those out because, yeah, they require a pull-off spot because they've been having issues, like I know of North Village, they have theirs right on the curb, and that's not ideal because you have to stop in traffic to get your mail. What they want ideally is a pull-off spot for 2 or 3 cars to be able to get out of the car and get their mail without being in the lane of traffic.
The problem you're going to have is, like, my particular pickup truck is like the world's biggest pickup truck, right? So if you're in a Prius, you're not even going to see over my fenders, and I'm not even through my truck. You're not going to be able to see any traffic going left from coming from the left side up that hill.
We have a remote station.
Can I make one more comment, Dan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, regarding that, I know it's a little bit confusing, but even though this is a comprehensive permit, it's before the zoning board of appeals, these types of housing projects still are subject to various aspects of the subdivision control law and our rules and regs governing subdivision, so they do have to comply with those standards in certain cases as well.
Anyone else that'd like to be heard? Sir?
Yeah, I'm just...
Your name for the record,
Oh,
please.
sorry. I'm Rob Piccolo. I live at 45 Southwest, right at the top of the hill, and I shower on the second floor. So, I'm just wondering, from the perspective of someone in the market for affordable housing, why this spot in Douglas would appeal to me. You're going to make it beautiful, all that. Let's just take that as given. Why is this place, where there's no access to public transportation, why is this a place that I would want to move my family if I'm in need of affordable housing?
That's a personal question. I can't answer that for everybody. You know, people want housing options. Right now, to buy affordable housing in Massachusetts, we all know, it's very limited. I don't think an option should be, you got a mobile home park here. Yeah, that's affordable because you pay this amount. You know, they shouldn't have to be affordable units, shouldn't have to be where you don't want, you would rather live than everybody else would.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no doubt, and obviously the owner has done his due diligence, checking the market, checking this. There's 8 affordable units, the rest are market, even the market rates. So he must know that he can sell these units. I mean, it gives an opportunity for houses. I don't know what the average median income, average median sale price for a house in Douglas is. But these will go, the affordable will go for about $350,000. So it does give people an opportunity to come into, you all say you love Douglas, you love living here. Well, other people, or they might downsize. You might get just, people don't want to have a big house anymore. And they would rather have somebody else take care of them on. So they'd rather move into something like this, but still have room for, family to come over and stay. So it's a global question that I get everywhere I go. It's very much the individual. Some people love living in the city. Other people don't. So I can't say why one specific affordable person would live in it. But he's done similar developments, similar sizes. without. And in similar areas, it's a nice community, and people come. So there's not a lot of choices out there either.
Right, I'm just worried that what you're saying is affordable housing becomes less affordable because of the need for multiple cars if you've got a family.
I mean, you look at the sale prices are reasonable. I mean, the median incomes are, right now on the rental side, I do a lot of rentals too. The normal rent right now for a 3-bedroom is over $3,000 a month. That isn't affordable for a lot of people, right? There is a certain, but they got to make that income. The incomes are over 100,000, and that's still not considered market rate income, So it's a tough situation. It's an emergency. It is a crisis. There's affordable housing in Massachusetts and over all the country is in a crisis right now. 8 units don't, might seem a lot to you all in a 30-unit development, but that's just a drop in the bucket.
No, I think you misunderstand me. I'm pro affordable housing. I just feel that the 40B might be your way into this property instead of a legitimate attempt to provide that affordable housing. Because he also knows that if the houses don't sell, he can change things.
No, he can't.
No, he can't. He's obligated to keep eight of them as affordable.
Well, then, if they don't sell, he's got 8 empty properties.
They will sell. They will sell.
I'm glad you're sure. It seems unattainable. We're really trying to get people.
Excuse me, we just need to move on. You have a gentleman back to raise his hand if nobody else has a question.
Sir?
Jack here again. I'm just piggybacking on your statements there. What is the target range of the unaffordable houses, and what's the demographic as like seniors versus families? And as far as that impact.
Well, under fair housing, you can't limit housing to any individual. So it could be...
If you were making like a retirement village, like they have over...
Yeah, but, excuse me, this isn't a retirement village, so it's going to be traditional housing. So if you want to move in by yourself, or you want to move in with 2 kids, you can move in with 2 kids. And that's what the market is.
I was just curious.
No, I'm just trying to answer the question on the sake of time.
Yeah, the affordable...
If you're going to limit it to age, then it would be an over 55 or something like that. That's not what they're proposing. It's just basically a standard subdivision, except for 8 of them are going to be affordable, lacking the restrictions of the state and stuff. But in general, that's what they're getting. So they're not targeting a particular market. We're required to have a certain amount of affordable. 10%, I think, is what it is, and we're probably somewhere around 6%. So that's what opens the door for developers like this to try to come in and create these different developments. Right? So they have to go through this routine. They have to try to jump through all the hurdles. They have a lot of leeway. There's stuff that will help them achieve their goal. But there's certain things that they can't bypass, whether it's environmental, whether it's water, whether it's a safety concern because of traffic. That's why I'm asking the particular questions that I'm asking, because I want it out there. I know it's an initial meeting, but I want to be proactive and just get these things out there so they can address it. These are our pretty main focus items that are on there, in my mind anyways. I'm sure other people will have a difference of opinion, but we're just trying to move it along, and that's why I interrupted our neighbor up the street, because she was going back, we were getting off track. I listened to this gentleman talk about the affordable. It's really outside of what we should be talking about, but out of courtesy, just to get it out there, we're at the initial meeting, we'll get a little more aggressive and efficient as we move forward. But when I see people like this in the room, I've expressed it to the chairman that I want to hear comments from the audience to make sure that people have the opportunity to put the things out there. We're not trying to push stuff down. And there's sometimes it's common questions. The whole trick to this process, so you don't frustrate anybody or lose anybody's attention, don't repeat each other. if you have a subject you want to talk about, you talk about it, you let it go. Everybody heard it. I'm pretty good about retaining stuff. But it'll make it more efficient, and then we can zip right through it. All right?
Through the chairman, just as you probably be aware that communities can have a local preference of the affordable units. They're allowed up to 70%. They have to prove they need a local preference. We're more than willing. We usually, if the community wants a local preference, we put it in there. So we'll work on that if that's something that the town wants or the community wants. You can make local preference to teachers, policemen, policewomen, whatever. I mean, it's people who moved out of town but their parents still live in town, or vice versa. So we're willing to work with you, but you have that local preference.
In my own opinion, the state's thoughts haven't caught up with each other, right? So we have the antiquated 40B process, and then they came out with this new great ADU law, right? Everybody can make an affordable house in their yard. So once those start merging together, you're going to see some of this stuff dying off if people start pulling the ADU permits.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Question to the chair.
Who? Brandon?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brandon Fanoff, Conservation Agent. I'm here to represent public interests protected under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission in this matter. So just a quick statement at this early point in the game, and that is that the Conservation Commission wishes to be proactive by attending this meeting because they have a keen interest in retaining jurisdiction under Douglas Article 8, which is the local wetlands protection bylaw and regulations. They're particularly interested in their ability to maintain authority under section 10.3 of the bylaw regulations. That section sets out the disturbance and setback distances. The big concern here at this site is the distance between the basin nearest Southwest Main Street to the BBW/pond and the bordering vegetated wetland. It seems really close, and that in other circumstances, the Conservation Commission, would have a lot of concerns, but we understand they still have to come to the Conservation Commission, but we want to get our prior precipitation requirement, so to speak, complete. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Les had
Just a question for the engineer and stuff. So if this was a standard subdivision based upon the acreage and the 90,000 square feet, you'd have like 13 and a half house footprints, and you're proposing 15? What's in the Title 5, on the maps, Title 5, rough math, it would be 120 bedrooms, is it, based upon the acreage count and the 10,000 per acre?
Well, for any site in general, there's always a maximum of 10,000 gallons per day, regardless of how many gallons per acre you're putting in. A single facility can't discharge more than 10,000 gallons a day. That's the limit that we're hitting here. So even if you only had half-acre zoning or something, we wanted to come in with 60 units or something, we wouldn't be able to because we're constrained by the state rules.
So you could do 120 bedrooms on the site if under perfect conditions, and you're proposing 90 basically bedrooms and 15 building footprints. Versus 13 and a half. Okay.
And I did do a breakdown just to make sure I was kind of not way out of line with the town's density. If you were looking at the 2.5 acre lot versus bedrooms, and versus, if these were well and septic on an individual lot, they limited to 110 gallons per acre. So basically that works out to be you'd have to have the maximum on the Title 5 on single-family lots would be 448 gallons per day per acre. We're at 350.
350 and taking in the entire parcel.
Entire parcel.
Together.
Yeah, in aggregate, it would be.
So there's no consideration for it being condensed up into one area because you're not utilizing 28 acres, you're utilizing a much smaller area?
Yeah, if this were a different process and we were going for a community aggregation plan, if you had a conventional subdivision with smaller lots, house and well, well and septic, and those were half-acre lots, you could reserve other acreage attached to it to not be built on to meet your 440 gallons per acre max. So it was just a second check on that, 10,000 gallons a day for this whole site, and then make sure we didn't go over that 440 gallons per acre.
No. Sir? This will be the last one.
Hey, good evening.
Just the name, yeah.
Yes, Dave Blaney. 26 Southwest Main, and 20 Southwest Main, and 18 South. And there was something about a community review, and you said no butters attended it. Could you double check the budding line at the top there? Is that 1,563 feet?
I got it at 1558 up here.
1558, okay. So that just happens to be us, and we weren't invited, and I guess, I don't know whether this would be a good thing or a bad thing, but hoping that there will be considerable transparency, especially with the butter, with that much interest in this, and we didn't hear anything officially.
Did you receive a notification?
Not just for this one. We got a notification for this, but I understand that there was a previous community walkthrough
I did it as a courtesy because no one from the town showed up at the first one. So I wasn't required to notify anybody. I offered to be there. I didn't send out invitations, but I offered to the town to invite anybody they wanted, and they showed up with
So could we give you our contact information, I guess?
Sure.
In the interest of transparency?
Well, you know what, sir, we're going to do one better than that. The meeting's going to get continued, so everybody here will know the date of the next meeting, and that's the way it'll be.
Do you understand my point on this?
I do, but I also understand that the staff has told us that they sent out certified mail to everybody that was required.
For here, yes. But I'm talking about the courtesy meeting, and we're a significant abutter, and I'm just pointing out the interest in transparency. So if we were overlooked for that courtesy meeting, am I wrong on this? Am I pitching this wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
So just through the chair, let me explain it real quick to the audience. So what happened was the initial letter came out in the summertime frame from the applicant and inviting Mass Housing. It came to our board as well as maybe some other boards at that time for the invite of walking out there. The timing of it was in between our meetings, so we never actually had a meeting and a discussion on it to make that first invitation. So the second invitation was,
Yeah, just for clarification, when he said our board, he's referring to the select board. It got sent to the selectman's office, right?
Yeah, and the ZBA, I think we...
It did get sent?
Yeah.
Did it get sent to us then?
I don't believe so.
No. So it came into the selectman's office, but there was a mix-up. So as a courtesy, because we reached out and said that we didn't have time to respond and be able to attend that meeting, we went there, and some of the same concerns that I said tonight, I said to that gentleman that day. Okay. So nobody's trying to do anything underhanded or sneaky or not. No, I'm just explaining to you. I heard what you said. I understand it. But I just want to make sure it's clear. We went there just to see, all right? And Margaret was there. I was there. John Charbonneau was there, the town planner for the town's interests, right? And the town, not just the town government, but the town government represents everybody that lives in the town, right? There was nothing, you could have walked up and you could have said whatever, it really didn't mean anything until you get to this point and it actually starts. There was no application in place. This was just a informal meeting for their intent. right? So that's all it was.
So, brother, I'm not talking any accusation.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, when the statement was made that no abutters attended, and we're the significant abutter, and we didn't know about it, I'm just explaining that's what.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not accusing
Yeah.
anybody. I said I
Right.
don't know if this is a good project or not. A couple of quick things that I just might mention here. One of our long-term association members at Douglas Campus, and you may know that we've had the land for 150 years, so we're not a newcomer there, right? So the basin, if there were overflow, as you mentioned, one of the brooks crosses our boundary, and typically that's not too big of a deal for us, because that's just a seasonal brook, is how it is for us. But I know our drive-over bridge and maybe one other are fed by that brook, so if there was impact on that brook, it could compromise our bridge. It's not a big to-do bridge, but what it would take to, of course, how to redo it, I don't know all that's involved, probably beyond our budget to deal with that. So the amount of water that may flow, if it came down the brook, that immediately goes through our property right down to Dudley.
Yeah.
That's the thing that comes to my mind. One of our long-term members, previous president, he said, when you go to the meeting, can you ask them to stay 120 feet away from our property? I said, no. I said, I think, why don't you come and ask that? That seemed a little extensive, but so I see where you are, and I'm not saying you have to be away from our property line, but he had a good point. At our max, we have septic facilities, city water, multiple city water lines, multiple electric meters. Our capacity can be well over 600, well over with the multiple things that we have there. And so it hasn't been for some time. But when we're talking about water drain, we're not only talking about traffic at certain times of the season, but the usage of our property, which we are tapped into that water line, is also maxed out, particularly in summer, particularly July. So that's just a factor you might want to be aware of. Your readings would probably be different during that period of time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, it's the board's pleasure. Should we continue this for another month?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll move the matter be continued to May 6th, I believe is the next meeting,
It is,
if I may. I apologize, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
you're correct, May 6th.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Hall and a second by Mr. Fitzpatrick to continue this public hearing till May 6th at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Can we briefly talk about the process for the 53G account so we can be proactive on that, how we're going to, what the process is, we're going to set that up, some sort of amounts in there, what should go in there, what should be a minimum. So we
Yeah,
can
no, I
get
think
drawn
that's
down
good.
to. That way they know what we're thinking anyways, and we can at least start talking about that. And because we're going to, most likely, community development booths, with our input, be talking about who the peer review engineer is going to be, and whatever other professionals we may need to look at this project.
Any recommendations on that? Do you want to talk about it tonight? Or you'll bring it up next week?
Is there like a lottery, does the big firm in a lottery system or something like that?
Well, no. I'm talking about the 53G account to pay that, but not a lottery system. So another project that's in town, we have a minimum of $3,000 in that account that it doesn't get drawn below that. So then we have a reserve. So if we engage with a vendor, whether it's an engineer or whatever, it's just a pass-through account, so we're obligated to pay it. If the money's not there, we're stuck holding the bag, right? So there's a minimum of $3,000 in there. I would think initially we should probably have $5,000 in there, so you have a $2,000 buffer. If it changes, then we have to do something different, or if it gets silly, where too many people asking questions, and we draw that down, then maybe we can address that at that point. But I would like to at least get something established so we can be proactive and start moving this along.
No, very common, very used to it, so we'll work with
the conservation agent that he referred to is actually a vendor, right? It's an independent company that it gets paid out of the 53G account. Town council gets paid out of the 53G account typically on these processes. So I just want to make sure we'll figure out who the engineer is going to be. That's something we'll discuss. I don't think tonight's the time to discuss it. I'd rather get a list of different vendors from community development and make that decision hopefully at the next meeting.
It's right in the comprehensive permit law too about paying for consultants. We understand.
Yep. I'm just trying to address things to get this moving along so we come to a conclusion, whatever that may be.
Yeah, we'll get you that deposit.
Yeah. For the next meeting, can you give me a little more detail on your parking thing for that mail kiosk?
Sure, and I'll get those stakes out there pretty soon, too.
Well, the stakes for the entrance will help, but I want you to really look at that when you're coming up.
Take a look at the document that was mentioned by the planning board, see if we can...
Yeah, I can get you those regulations tomorrow.
Yeah, are they available on the website? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
The regulation, but I want you to consider when you come to the end of that road, looking to your left, up that hill.
Okay.
And if you need to borrow my pickup truck, I'll park it there on the side of the road, and you tell me if you can see coming out of that gate. So that's all I'm pointing out there.
All right.
It's a problem.
Through the chair, is it possible, I know you're going to submit a traffic report, to get copies from the police department, the number of citations and accidents on that road?
The accident report is in.
That's in the report.
It's in there, right?
Seems like we're headed towards a probably more comprehensive report, probably extending it up the street of it, so. But preliminary is there.
Okay. See you on the 6th at 7 p.m.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great evening.
No, wait. No, the old guy had to go to the bathroom, so I tell him.
I think they're here. I was just wondering if I think they're here for about the bond. I think.
Yeah, it won't take
Oh, no, it's fine.
15, 20. A couple things we got to do.
Yeah, I can say.
Oh, no, you're welcome.
That's how they get
I'll give a shot if I can find
Or season tickets, one or the It's funny, they talk so loud it doesn't matter if they push the buttons.
I'm sorry?
They push the buttons back here. You
sign that, Black?
Yeah, no, I'll sign.
You're going to have to get involved in the Conservation Commission meetings.
Okay. I'll see
I have to
Brandon.
give you more to do.
We're both on the board of MACC, so I see him at those things. Yeah. I was president for 3 years, and now I'm just regular board member.
It's not fair to do 2 40Bs in one day.
Yeah.
Mike, John, no, take that on the hallway.
Oh.
John, no, take that on the hallway.
Send him down the hallway.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them.
That makes
Go over there.
Involved with them, kind of in the background, well, not, I've been a member for 20 years, so.
Wow.
There you go.
Neil, Tim? Like to join us?
We're ready?
Come on up.
Come on down.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's squeeze over. Sit next to Ron.
Chair, Vice Chair, board members, Town Council,
Good evening.
Developer, project manager.
Yes.
How you doing?
Tim Barlow, developer, project manager, Neil.
And the other Fabulous board members.
Thanks for submitting that as-built on the railing.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. Everybody have a chance to look at that? Mm-hmm. You're all fine with
We get into the complaint. Excuse me. You got copies of the most recent?
Yeah, we have a copy. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the plan
Well,
to address it?
most of the complaints pertain to the design of the project. And the project has undergone thorough inspections by the town's design and peer review engineer, ensuring that all site work, drainage, and infrastructure are in full compliance with the approved site plan.
What are you saying, this is a design flaw?
That was leaf litter that was covering the drop inlet, and once it was cleared, it cleared up. That was for a very short period of time. During that rain event where we got like 5 inches of rain.
What's this white PVC pipe attached there?
That's a weep hole. That's for the design.
No, the white pipe is a gutter drain.
Oh, I thought it was in the big basin.
Yeah, no, that is.
Oh, that's a gutter drain going into the swale. Yeah.
Should that have any stone at the end of it so it doesn't grow back up there? You're past halfway of the pipe. I mean, nitpicky, I'm just...
Yeah, it's not required.
I'm not required, common sense. I'm just asking.
Well, it's gone through numerous inspections, and it's not required.
So when that fills up and then backs up, it comes out the other
Well, it's a maintenance issue that would be owned by the HOA. Even if you put stone there, weeds are going to come through it. It falls under maintenance.
So at what point do they do it? They do it during construction, or they do it after you turn over the project?
No, during construction. Once the unit is conveyed, the homeowners, then the lawn care, the maintenance around the units is done by the HOA.
That's the case now, right?
Yes,
They own
that's the
more than
case.
50%.
Yes, we're at over 50%.
Right.
Yeah, we're at two-thirds.
So you're saying
Right, so
this party should approach the HOA to...
Correct.
So this is where that cistern is? Is that what that is? That candy cane sticking up? That's that little turnaround that goes in there, Neil? Tim's been gone so long, he doesn't remember the project anymore. So I got
Thank you.
No, no problem. I missed you, buddy.
Oh. It's been wonderful.
What is this the rain garden that you mucked out not that long ago?
No, let me see the picture. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's when we mucked out.
What's the plan? That's not finished, right?
We were waiting to see that it was working, and it is, and this season will be wood chipped, and new plants will be put in. And that'll be done by us.
I think this is what they talked about, the pavement in front of the mail kiosk.
Yes.
Like two different layers, was that extended or a trench put in there or something to create the difference in surface?
That's going to be, yeah, we're going to extend.
I know you're going to complete.
Yeah, when we do that again, we're going to pave all the way down.
What created that? Was that a trench? Did you extend it over?
Oh, that was originally the grass strip that was being run over.
Okay.
So we took out the grass strip, we paved over it, but we're also going to extend that down. Yeah. Yep. So there's more of a pull-off.
So it's already.
Oh, this is right at the beginning of North Street.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the house there.
I'm not there, but I've been out of there for a while, so I don't remember where it is.
Questions just through the chair while we're going through. The pooling and the puddling and stuff like that is just mainly after a heavy storm, it usually then filtrates into it.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's been operating that way.
Yes, sir.
The homeowners association being transferred to homeowner, when did that occur? Roughly, month, year?
Well, that occurred right in the beginning of Phase 1. There was a homeowners association formed, and they've been doing lawn maintenance as the unit owners move in.
Okay, but then the tenants take over that 50% you said?
Oh, no, the tenants don't take over until the end of the project.
End of the project?
Yeah, at the end of the project, we turn it over. Until then, we are still the trustee.
You're still the trustee for the homeowners association?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then.
But the trustee doesn't have nothing to do with maintenance?
No, we oversee it.
Okay.
But maintenance is paid for from the HOA.
Okay. So who directs the maintenance to clean that pipe that I asked you about?
We hired a company, so it's third party. So it would be R&R Realty Management.
Okay.
So at some point, there's some work order or direction?
They give work, yes. All the residents have R&R's contact, and they can email and ask for a work order.
Yeah. Okay. Can you find out for us if one has been submitted for that particular pipe?
I can.
Yep. So that little pond area behind the hydrant, that was caused by one pipe with leaves on it?
No, not one pipe with leaves. There's a drop inlet there.
Yeah.
And the drop inlet had leaf litter on it. And it overflows. When that bigger basin gets filled, it goes into the drop inlet, which goes into the big pond. And the drop inlet had leaf litter on it.
And that goes back to the maintenance company to make sure that these are cleared?
I think there was leaf litter on the ground, and it floated to the top, and then as it's going in the drop inlet, it sucked it over, and then choked it off. But that's the first time that has happened. We've never had that overflow before.
I haven't seen this picture before, so I can agree with you.
Yeah. And that was an unusually large rainstorm that night.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've been having them more and more lately.
And we also had, agreed, and we had snow melt combined with it.
And you got snow over it?
Not anymore.
When you say snow melt, I'm thinking of heated driveways. I'm like, wait a second. Heated driveways. Oh, yeah. Heated driveways is snow melt. It's the system that you put in. You want a heated driveway. I didn't think Neil and company threw it in the heated driveway. So that's when he said the word snow melt. I was like, wait a second. So, yeah.
The rain melting the snow.
Yeah.
No, I'm reading through this EPA complaint. What they stated, and I'm looking at the response, is saying that you're obligated to do things. If I understand this, that you're not required to subdivision.
That's correct. We weren't required, and I would have, Art Allen from Ecotech was our wetland specialist, and when this went through design, we went through DEP in 2008, and we satisfied everything. I have a file number, which I don't know who came out, I don't know what was discussed on site. We weren't privy to it. But we are outside of the buffer zone with all of the work that's being discussed. And we have a order of conditions, both state and local, that have been satisfied with a certificate of compliance.
For both?
For both. So from my understanding, we're past that. And we were not required at the time to do a SWIP, did I say that? Yeah, because we do not have waters that reach U.S. waters. No water leaves the site that, even, I'm not sure, I would have to ask Art for the exact, but we don't, for what storm level it is, but that's what was discussed at DEP.
Well, what phase is this flooding? And that's in phase one, that flooded area and the rain gardens that you mucked out?
Yeah.
Right? It seems like it's been a continuing problem with those, right?
I wouldn't say that.
I would say it, because we've talked about them quite a bit, and we started this.
That's Neil, we talked about
2000.
Well, we had two gardens that were just arbitrarily decided that they weren't draining quick enough. No one ever timed them. No one ever dated or documented the times. It was just discussed that when we drive in after a rainstorm, those are the two wettest gardens. So we decided, okay, we'll try to make everyone happy, and we put in a weed pipe to help them drain quicker, which is part of the standard for correction. But I don't think at any time were they ever in failure. And this overflow, this flooding, as you call it, I don't think that was in failure. We had a drop inlet that was covered with leaf litter for a very short period of time, and as soon as it was removed, everything worked as normal.
So I'm going to finish what I was saying. I didn't start saying that to make it get defensive, right? I'm just going to make a statement. We've had problems with these right along on different areas in that, right? That's phase one, and that's why I pointed out as phase one. That was 2018, which happened to be 8 years ago, right? And we're still having the problem. My concern is you're in phase four, right? Is this going to be at a state where you can comfortably walk away, or the town can comfortably sign off on this, that we're not going to get continuing problems 6-12 months down the road on these? Is the design suitable that, or something in place, whether it's the property management company that has to go rake the covers off 3 times a year or whatever they need to do? What is the plan to address this? In a development this big, you did 90 houses already. We're 8 years into it, and in my mind, we shouldn't even be talking about phase one. Right? That should have been long gone. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, right? And I've been on this since the beginning. Sean took a little time off the board, but he was also here at the beginning when I I teased you last time about what's the address of those rain gardens, right? We've talked about this quite a bit, and I just want to make sure that we have something in place, because the staff in this building, we don't get phone calls. We get emails, but the staff in this building has to field these complaints on a regular basis, and then somebody's taken upon themselves to put in the complaint with EPA. That's something you address. I don't know what the outcome of that is. My concern is to make sure that we address whatever is going on in that phase 1, because I don't hear anything about phase 3, but it's high and dry, I guess, over there, and you don't have much of a problem there.
That's because everything flows down to phase 1, to the pond that overflowed, and goes into the big pond.
Yep.
And the drop inlet was covered with leaf litter, and it overflowed.
If you go back and look at the engineer's reports since God knows when, the rain gardens have been a problem.
I disagree, Dan. 2 rain gardens, 2. There's 45 rain gardens that were built, and there were 2 that were never documented on the time it took them to dry out. And I am still adamant, you can go time them now, you can go time any rain garden in there, and your inspecting engineer can. They dry out within the recommended time period. So,
Excuse me, can I have, what's the allotted?
72 hours from the last rain event. So if you have a rain event on Monday, and then it rains again on Tuesday, it's from the last rain event. And, sorry, go ahead.
I was just through the chair. What I think what might, I'm just throwing this out there. Sometimes you have like lessons learned, right? You guys have been doing this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and I think trying to get to the, one of the things is with the rain gardens and with mulch and wood chips, right? We all kind of are like, well, that's what was done, or that was with the, but we always know like water and wood, right? Wood floats, and next you know it floats up and high, and in general, wood does float, right? So would it be worthwhile to consider maybe like crushed stone on the bottom, because then you wouldn't have any, and that would actually help the penetration. Something to think about, kick around. You know what I mean? Just a thought of mine.
No, that's a great thought for penetration. But with a rain garden, you're supposed to have wetland plants in there. Those are supposed to absorb the water. It's not supposed to percolate at a rate that won't support a wetland plant.
But to Les's line, I like the direction that he was going in. We're not talking about all 45 of them, right? If you have 2 problem childs in there, maybe it's something that you could look at and potentially.
Absolutely.
Suggestion, that's all it is.
Absolutely, but we did correct the 2. We corrected the 2 with the Mass recommended way to fix the problem.
The building code recommends stuff to us all the time that we don't.
Understood, but they're working fine now. They're off the deficiency list. Since we put the pipe in and it corrected it, they're off of Leonard's deficiency list.
Do you guys got like a weeping willow in some of those?
That is, we don't have one, but that is one of the plants you can put in.
Right. To your point, I mean,
in the wood chips, that's what's recommended, and it was discussed before grass, but grass would slow the perk rate down too slow.
Okay. It's just an odd thing, right? Wood chips and to me.
It is, but that's the design criteria.
That's all.
It's not from us.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
You studying foundations? I'm just curious.
No, we would like to, where the bond is still in underwriting.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I already resolved that.
But I'd be glad to start some if you would like me to.
Just to the chair, I think the last discussion, you guys were working on the lighting plan?
Yeah, we did have a comparison study done.
Okay. I don't think we've seen a copy of it yet or like that.
No, we brought
I know you guys were working on it.
Yeah, we did a comparison study on the 2 lights.
Okay. didn't know you had
Are we off of rain gardens?
Yes.
For the moment.
Where's the glasses?
You know me better than that.
No, I do. I'm waiting for the left hook.
What's that?
I'm waiting for the left hook.
They don't help, they just make everything blur.
I've been pretty good to you.
I got my reader.
You have.
Get hold there.
Unfortunately, it's a job that we
Yeah.
volunteered to do, so it's not personal.
No, it's business. I agree.
Lala Associates,
Yep.
you're gonna figure out somebody else that I wasn't gonna pick on?
Tinky Winky.
Oh, that's who signed it?
Yeah.
Did they do like a looms map?
No.
No? Okay.
I just did this comparison.
Okay.
And then the engineer wrote this. I asked him to compare the two lights.
Okay.
And
He just did lights, but he didn't put them on the subdivision plan and then like do the looms?
No.
Okay. That's just something that I've seen before on the planning board where they do the looms kind of like in the shows, because one of the concerns he had was second floor bedroom and things like that.
That's what yes, we're concerned with that. And I think he addresses some of that in here.
I have to say, I drove through there a couple weeks ago at night, and the coverage from those lights is just
That's what that is, right?
minimal.
Yeah, because it's not correct.
You know, I mean, I don't know if I actually call them street lights. They don't cover, if you look on the ground, they just covering,
Well, the spread on the lights is here, and they spread
9 feet?
No.
It's 45 feet.
45 feet.
And usually,
yeah. I'm going to go through again. I might need new glasses because
That's a lot.
8 feet.
Well, this is what the engineer stamped.
It doesn't mean it's right.
Well, no. But the lighting plan itself, the lights are how far apart? 100 feet? At least. Yeah, the lights are like 100 feet apart.
Yeah. But what I saw, I don't think it was more than 8 feet on the ground.
But at that calculation, the two circles should be 10 feet apart with the lights spread, right?
If it's 100 feet.
45 is 90.
Well, with the bent and everything, sure.
Come back.
Well, no, it's not, no,
they
because
don't.
it only goes halfway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Halfway and halfway, you only get 45 feet, so you got 50 feet.
I almost had it.
they have to.
I made
Close.
them think. I almost had it.
That was just April Fool's.
You can't have those light circles connect because you have to have critters.
But no, he already fixed it. It's only 22 and a half feet, so there's 55 feet in between
Separation, okay.
the circles, so you have to run quick.
Oh, Jesus.
Only because this has been such a tricky subject.
Yeah.
I would like to.
But I would just ask everybody between now and next meeting, go take a ride through. I mean, I swear that thing didn't cover more than 8 feet around. And they're 100 feet apart. They really
Yeah, well,
Didn't seem to do
I would
the
just like to have somebody else just check this because the wording of it is biased, right? Telling me that granite doesn't rust, I knew that, right? And that's not what he should have been just talking about is the projection of the light and the benefits of whether it's 9 feet tall or 16 feet tall, not telling me about the construction of the fixture and city, imposing city fixtures and all this other stuff. That's an opinion, so it comes across as biased when I read it. But we'll just get somebody to read it so we can put that to rest. What do we got to talk about, the bond?
What's that?
Well, they don't have it yet.
Oh, what's the status on that?
It's an underwriting. Because it went into a new year,
Yeah.
I had to submit new financials.
What do you think, maybe?
I was hoping to have it tonight, but it's
so
still
next
an
meeting,
underwriting.
hopefully you'll have that?
Probably before. Yeah, I'm
but we
expecting,
can't
hopefully
act on it.
next week.
We can't act on it until... to the meeting, correct?
Right.
We're not meeting until May 6th.
There's nothing I don't believe for anybody to sign. The bond gets turned into the town. And then the town is the beneficiary.
The oversight of your project is this board.
Yeah, understood.
So-
But it goes, it gets turned
I would think that
in.
it would still need to come before the board.
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair, if the board approved it at the last meeting, unless there are changes to it, it doesn't have to come before you again. But if it was not completely approved and there's something different that you're going to need to look at, then it needs to be done at a meeting. Duly notice public meeting.
Yeah, we
established the amount of what the bond should be.
Yeah.
And so as long as they meet the threshold and stuff.
I think it was like
I would agree with that.
Yeah, the bond, you should be in the exact verbiage that was at the meeting.
I would trust Kate's judgment on that. If she gets the bond and she's satisfied with it, you get a response, Mr. Chairman, I would support your decision on that. I don't know.
All right, so you get it to the town, we'll get it to
Fine with that.
council, do a quick review, and if nothing's changed, then I guess we're all set.
Perfect.
Fine with that, Margaret?
Yeah, I think it was the same amount.
At the table agrees to that.
Yep. Okay. Any other business?
I think that's it. I guess the lighting, we want Leonard or Haley Ward.
Yeah, we got to do something, because I want to get it done too. Yeah.
We've got to pick it up by
just
next
get,
meeting.
wrap.
We'll have a direction in which to go in.
Thank you.
I'm not comfortable handling off the Haley Award or anybody right now. I don't even know if they know what a light is, right? I'm not trying to be a wise guy, but it's at their area of expertise. And it's just, you got Lala here, so I want Tinkerbell to look at it.
Lala is an engineer.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Driving a train has nothing to do with a light.
Only think about one.
Well, he does this part-time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If he wasn't so biased in his opinion, I probably wouldn't even question it, to be honest with you.
You want us to take rides up there and take a look at it at nighttime?
I would recommend it, because I was really taken back by how little coverage there was on the ground.
Well, what would be the solution, and what would you like?
I don't know, I'm not a lighting expert, but I personally think height helps.
Well, what I'm concerned with is height and light spill into windows.
Yeah, then
So what would be...
When I had read through the original specs, it did talk about the casting of the light that would prevent that from happening. So it's not like it's a globe that is just going out in all directions. It was a downcast.
The original, on both plans, the one that's in dispute, and the 2009 set, both lights cast out.
Yeah, you could put guards on them. That's what they, again, from the planning board experience, they can put back guards on them.
Go ahead, Ron.
You know, we've been talking about this for a long time, and the comment you made right there is about the spread of the light. Why don't they just put a pole up there with a street light on it?
Because these lights are so close to the units, they're only...
Oh, they shine in.
They could shine right in.
Well, what the hell? Well, I got one on my street, and that shines into my bedroom.
Yeah, well, I think you should complain. Every resident who has a light pole in front of their unit in here is complaining.
I mean, I'm sick of hearing this. I mean, and I'm not blaming you.
I am too.
But this is, I mean...
Just coming to a conclusion of what it's supposed to be.
So, that we don't know what we're doing.
Just take a ride through there after dark and see what you think.
This is nuts. This is going on, what, 5 years, 10 years?
It's been a long time.
Well, no, the light thing's been going on for a year.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a year.
Man alive.
He's going to have a heart attack. Somebody stop.
Oh, God.
So it's not something that was made up, just for the record. It wasn't something that was made up. The problem is there's two different designs. Where it came from, I have no idea. There was an email sent in 2010, November 10th, I think, 2010, sent by Paul Hutnack, sent to Bill Cundiff, and it says, per our discussion. I don't know where that discussion is. I've tried to get meeting minutes to see if I could distinguish where they came up with this infamous light fixture. Because I want it resolved as much as you do. But I also, as I've stated a lot of times in here, I don't want them to do any more than they have to do. I just want them to do what they're supposed to do. And Tim and I may bicker once in a while, but we are on the same page. We're trying to get to a conclusion.
Yeah, I'd like to
solve this problem.
I'd like to get it done so we can get to a point of completion on phases 1, 2, and 3.
Now, can I ask another question?
Sure.
Are the people that live there, are they complaining?
Yes.
Like hell about the lighting?
Yes, they would like lighting, yes.
Well, I know they like lighting, but I mean...
we haven't completed the lighting. We only have not even a third of the lighting up because we were stopped with this dispute over which light to use.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I would like to get the lighting completed.
Yeah.
But this is, what I just handed out now is from the comprehensive permit. And in our permit 11, the lighting plan shall ensure proper lighting while mitigating to the maximum extent possible both any unreasonable light pollution as well as light spill onto abutting properties. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Give enough light, but not give light pollution into the units.
I get it. Paul Hutnack was your engineer at the time? That's the problem, right? So trying to figure out why your engineer sent it to the town engineer with this light fixture per our discussion. Here's the light. And then somewhere along the line, this 2010 plan came in.
Well, maybe town council can clarify it a little bit. My point is that in 2008, the project was approved, and we had a set of the final site plans. And then somewhere in 2010, right before construction started, a plan was given to the town engineer, and it had a memo on it. This is the final site plan. Then we started construction. The town engineer, who is the overseer at that time of the project and was reporting directly to the board, the plan set he handed out was the 2009 set. And from 2009 up until a year ago, that's the set we were working from, and the peer review inspecting engineer was working from, and the town engineer. So to me, the 2009 set is the plan of record, not the 2010 set.
The 2010 set, 2010 set, the only difference is page 26?
Yes.
Just so you understand that. Page 26 is the lighting fixture. Everything else is the same. So the question is where this lighting fixture came from.
Yeah, it's not really a legal question.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, he brought you into the conversation so you understand what
I thought it was a legal
problem that we have. The problem that we
You were hoping.
I threw
Nobody hopes anything but legal questions.
So the plan of record is whatever plan the board approved initially. If somebody changed it later.
Well, that would be the 2009 set is the plan that's recorded at the Registry of Deeds.
And that shows which lighting.
I believe it doesn't have page 26.
Well, it has a page 26, but it shows the light I installed that we're being asked to remove.
So between now, I'll make it my personal mission to, between now and the next meeting, to figure out where that came from.
Thank you.
And then we can put it to rest, and Ronnie won't yell at me no more.
I'm sick of the lights.
I'm sick of the lights too, and I'm not trying to give Tim a hard time. The problem is we have two distinctly different lights, and I want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Yeah, and I just have a small point is that this is an affordable project. The lights have been in for 7 years, and they were inspected by the inspecting engineer. Apparently okayed by him because they're never on a deficiency report, and now we're being asked to remove them. It's an expense to the affordable project. And, numbers, as we all know, are tight.
As of now, we haven't asked you to remove them. We just want clarification as to which fixture it is, because if I asked you to remove them, I'd be like, how come the lights are still up?
Okay.
Right, so.
Fair enough.
We're trying to get clarification as to what the fixture is. And nobody's asked you up to this point to remove those.
Okay, thank you.
And you've only put in a partial as your previous thing, right? So you did say that when you brought town council into it, that you had an approved plan of 2008, and then you were working off of 2009.
No, I misspoke. It's the 2009 set. The project was approved, I think, in 2008, and then the 2009 set was the final set of plans. But I could be wrong on my date, but the argument really is the 2009, 2010.
I'll get clarification where that came from. I'll find it.
Okay, thank you.
Right? And if I can't find it, I guess it'll be a moot point, and I'll admit defeat.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. No, you won't.
I don't think
That'll be a big day.
We can all be here for that.
I don't think I'll need to. Anyways, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. We do have a gentleman in the audience. I don't know if he has any comments for this. He's been patiently sitting.
I was the one that wrote the letter to you folks. My name's Neil Newton, 32 Prince Drive. I think one of the major concerns is, are there any drawings that can be reviewed by the owners? And the spec that was spec'd out in there was the only spec I found from a conservation meeting. And usually those kind of, it may have applied just to the bridge going across as you enter in, as far as the conservation specs that were written out. But what I quoted in that, things such as the roof pitch, mandatory holes for draining into, was all spelled out in that, as far as not the metal roofs. I don't have it right in front of me to read it to you, but it's on that, as far as I get the exact term for the holes in the ground with the pale usually in it, that you have a half-inch of water accumulating to flow into the ground rather than on top of the ground. The gutter and the drainage pipe, I don't know if a perimeter drainage is supposed to be at a certain drop from the house out to where it's draining. I don't know if the specs call for 4 inches of loam to plant the grass on so it would seed down and create grass rather than a brown summer on one of those pictures. And I'm trying to find out, am I right? Or usually when I looked at drawings in my other life, what you usually saw that was from conservation is somewhere on a set of drawings that are an active set of drawings. I haven't even been able to find an active set of drawings for what's been built, what's proposed. Nobody knows what's proposed that I can find.
I believe.
And that's what's causing
conservation with Wayland, wasn't it?
So
I have the answer.
just through the through the chair, all the original plan that was approved was recorded at the Registry of Deeds, and then the as-built and everything like that is available through our Community Development Office because were updated. And
do that here in the town hall?
Yeah, but I would start with the original, which was the recorded plans of the Registry of Deeds. That was the original plan for the project.
Was conservation waived on this?
On the project? No, but the project itself, where the units sit, are well outside the buffer zone.
Yeah.
We had a wetland crossing at the beginning of the project.
Right.
That was what
That was the only thing you had to deal with. Okay.
The entrance at North Street, there's a picture in there that shows the mailbox. It has the sidewalk, it's got the area, as Tim said, which was the grass area, and then you're at the road. If you look at that entranceway, there's no separation from the road, really, to the mailbox. And if you park one car right there, you've got at least 2 feet of the road to drive into already blocked. I just think it's a safety issue, and I believe that the zoning board is responsible. I don't know who's responsible.
Well, it was approved at the beginning, and they've made it per the original approval, I'm assuming. Right? I haven't looked at the drawing to see what a mailbox is. We can't turn around and make them change it, because that's what was approved, right? Otherwise, it would have drove him nuts over streetlights, right? But we can't make them just change things because we have an afterthought. They're going to redo that road, repave it. That's all they're going to do, is repave that road that's coming in, and deal with the little grass strip that goes in the middle and all that stuff. But as far as the mailboxes, I don't think there's any intention of moving those. You heard at the previous hearing that the planning board has changed their thought process on the kiosk boxes. They now want a couple spots to pull off the road, but that's after the fact. It doesn't affect these people here. And some of this stuff triggers it, not just their particular subdivision, but other ones, right? The entrance is what the entrance is at this point. We can't make them change that. We just don't have the ability to do it.
Didn't the postal department tell you where they wanted it as well?
Yeah. Yeah, we would have put it anywhere. It's really up to the postmaster. And the reason why they're all at the beginning of the project is the post office wants to pull in and get out.
They don't want to go into private development.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hopefully, there's some way to put up a little bit of parking somewhere. There's not the right in front of mailboxes. And I also thought there was going to be some type of a definitive plan for that entryway to the town from a previous meeting when all those...
Well, the original plans would have showed you what the entrance was going to be, right? Just similar to that previous one. We were talking about that entrance going in, and the same process happened with this one. I wasn't involved in it. The chairman was involved in that. I don't know who else was involved in it at that time. That was pre-me. But that's all on that plan, the one that Mr. Stevens referenced that's been recorded with the Registry of Deeds. It's in there. It shows you what that is. What it won't show is the mailbox, because that is dictated by the postmaster.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You have some meeting minutes in there. You want to put those
we'll do
off
them
until next month?
Yep, I do.
That's it.
I see the rocket.
So moved.
I've got like 12 minutes to get to bed.
Second.
And I live
There you go. You
12 minutes away.
got a motion and a
I go
second.
there 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Dan, you got a motion and a second. Adjourn?
We have a motion by Mr. Fitzpatrick, second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
No.
Meeting's adjourned at 9:07.
No.